Well, welcome everybody to the Gate Showcase. We are, as they said, the nighttime spectacular and the final show of the night that brings the park together. I am Jake Plucker, and I am the team lead for this project. And going down the line, Tahara was our creative writer and costume designer. While she isn't able to be with us today, she is on site, and so you'll hear from her throughout our presentation. Amelia?
Hi, I'm Amelia, and I study in Carnegie Mellon University, and I'm the media designer for this team.
Hi, I'm Alejandro. I am the composer for the Nighttime Spectacular.
Hi, I'm Bailey. I focused on a lot of the mechanical design for the Nighttime Spec.
And then a big shout out and thank you to our team mentor, Emmanuel, for guiding us through the process and giving us feedback as we move through the entire project. With no further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So as you can see, our poster on the left, the Gate Showcase is the action-packed conclusion to the day at the park. The runtime is around 20 minutes, and it's over the central lake that splits the downtown and the suburbs. The key piece to this is it'll weave the park-wide technology you experienced in different attractions throughout the day into the show itself. Looking at a layout of our Nighttime Spectacular, drawn from the master planning team, you're able to see our barges on the lake here with the performer barges in the center and VIP guest barges docked around the lake along the outside. The light blue denotes water projection screens that will be shooting up from within the lake. Our drone fleet launch zone is in the bright pink with our flying car drone that you'll see more of soon in this yellow color here. And the small note here, our fireworks are being launched 700 feet north of this viewing area, and we'll talk more about that later, as well as during the safety presentation tomorrow. With that, I'm going to pass it down to Tahara on site.
Welcome back to Stargrove News. My name is Tahara Akbamuche, and this evening I will be covering the International Gate Expo Showcase. This showcase features the latest and greatest tech at the Expo every single year and allows each team to compete for the annual championship. Hosting your show today are Lapis LaFontaine and Intra. They are introducing our guests to our latest piece of technology in addition to the show, where guests have the ability to scan in their memories from their day at the park and have that be featured in the show. In addition, using our park app, they have the ability to vote for their favorite competitors in order to bring their champion to the top.
Thank you, Tahara. And now I'd like to introduce the composer for the showcase, Alejandro Edwards.
Thanks, Jake. I was contracted out by the Gate Showcase to compose a grand symphonic suite that encompasses all the ideas of imagination and vision that would bring together all the different people in the galaxy to showcase their amazing technology. This is now shown here in the competitor showcase. And additionally, each showcase member contracted me to have their own unique musical sound and style be presented within the show. And these styles can be heard in the background of Tahara during her live broadcast of the show. Oh, but it looks like that the show is about to start, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the opening scene.
With the introduction of our champions complete, we move into our first act, Meteor Motors. Tahara is on site with more.
First out of the gate, we have Meteor Motors and their flying car technology. This car soars over the guests' heads as their passengers projected onto a screen on the lake, so you can actually see them functioning the controls. Once it lands, its pilot steps out and greets the audience.
Thank you, Tahara. And now to our showcase engineer, Bailey Griffin, for more.
Awesome. So we got a lot of our inspiration for the flying car from Gear Factor. They've actually done a couple of things with commercials or concerts where they've had an actual flying car involved. And so we did a plastic shell with a helium balloon that would be filled up on the inside. And so there will be lots of lights and music and everything. And this is a close-up of our car. And so to run through some of the numbers, the car weight is 18 pounds and the balloon lift capability is 17.9 pounds, which leaves us with a tare weight of 0.1 pounds. And this is just to ensure that if something were to happen with the drones, that the car will just slowly float to the ground. And then another safety thing that we put in place, if something were to happen to the balloon, all 4 drones inside are able to carry 6 pounds, so they would be able to carry the car to safety in that case. So yeah, the car is similar in size to a normal car, so the guests actually feel like there's a real car flying over them, with the length being 14 feet and the width being 5 feet, with a height of 7.5 feet. So yeah, that's our car.
Thank you, Bailey. It looks like the next act is getting started now, so we'll pass it live to Tahara.
Propel Industries and their contributions to our technology in our universe. This time, they're presenting water technology that allows their users to fly above liquid bases. Guests are enamored with the flyboarding, hoverboarding, and water levitating technologies.
With this act here, as Tahara mentioned, you can see the ability to manipulate the water is performed with the flyboards and jet skis, as well as heavily relying on the projection mapping and our water fountain screens throughout the show. Next up in the act, we have the Intergalactic Time Savers.
The intergalactic time savers are a force to be reckoned with, and they didn't come to play. They came to the Gate Expo with their portal technology, allowing one to transport from one area to another. Their representative demonstrates such technology with their act.
Let's learn more about how this technology works with Bailey Griffin.
Awesome. So this barge is the performer barge, and the performers will be wearing outfits that have lights on them. So that way they can bounce around and do their act. And then as they pass through a hoop, the lights on their outfit will turn off right as someone else is going through the hoop, and their lights will turn on. So it looks like they have actually transported through time and space over to the other barge. So this barge was created kind of similar to the Disneyland and Fantasmic boats, where they're being driven underneath the barges. And we have safety measures in place where the nets will be there to catch them, and there'll also be padding on the edges of the nets just in case a performer were to miscalculate their jump.
And then into our guest experience with Bailey.
Awesome. So these boats act as the VIP experience for the guests, and they are 40 people per barge, and they're loaded by the restaurant, and then they will fan out as seen in the layout. And then in between each act, the boats will switch or rotate so that they can get a different view on the nighttime spectacular show. And there will be lights on the boat that correspond with the acts that are happening at that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those discerning, the Gate Showcase has received your votes and have determined the winner of the 75th Gate Showcase Championship. With all the grandeur and circumstances of each and every one of these fantastic submissions, there could be only one. They are the Answer.
So to dive into a little bit of safety, as we are putting on quite the spectacular at the end of the day, first looking at our fireworks and the NFPA 1123, the maximum mortar size designed in the simulations you've been seeing is a 10-inch mortar diameter. And so in line with that regulation, the minimum secured diameter of our site is 1,400 feet, and thus you get the 700-foot distance from all our spectators mentioned before. Jumping into a few drone safety highlights, our small unmanned aircraft system vehicles will be Intel Shooting Star drones, and we'll be using a fleet of 200 of these drones. The max flight time capable is 8 minutes, and as they'll only be appearing at the end of the show, that's more than enough. The max range is near a mile. The max speed is 22 miles per hour, and the weight of each individual drone is only around 0.7 pounds. Now, in order to truly bring this to life, the Federal Aviation Administration requires waivers in order to perform our drone flying under certain circumstances. And so the first waiver that we would be applying for is 107.29. Which regards daylight operation. And so as we're performing at night, special safety considerations have been made to ensure the safety of all of our guests viewing the spectacular. And this is chiefly achieved through multiple remote pilots who are in command of these drones, as well as a full team of visual observers whose sole job is to watch the drones and ensure that none are going off flight path. For 107.35, this enables one pilot to operate multiple of these drones. And so with the assistance of a computer-aided system, our operators will be able to see if any drones are flying off course, and will be able to manually override any such drones to ensure that they land safely and are returned if there's any malfunction. And the last, 107.39, applies to the flying car drone seen before. And this one will be operating over the heads of the people. And so we want to ensure additional safety for the flying car drone as well. And so Bailey mentioned it before, but with that tare weight of 0.1 pounds, ideally the balloon will only slowly float to the ground if there is any malfunction. Also, the balloon is padded, or the shell of the car around the balloon is padded to help reduce any kinetic energy and thus reduce the intensity of any injury that might, in a rare circumstance, occur. With that, it looks like the finale is just finishing up, so let's take you back to the show. Thank you to all of you for attending GATE today and for attending the showcase at the end of the night. A special thank you, of course, again to our mentor, Emmanuel. A thank you to all of the management team who have brought this to life. And then a thank you to all of the different project teams whose ride vehicles or technology they implemented in their experiences. Thank you to them for working with us to really bring their vision to life within the spectacular.